Okay, this is the new axle Venture trailer. Overall length is 81, 82 inches, and the spring center, the center of the springs from uh, this button of this nuts here to the nuts over there, it's 62 inches. And the hub base, I think it's 76.5 inches. So the wheel hub to the wheel hub, 76.5 inches. And this is the leaf spring I'm replacing. So you can see I have to check out the axle so that I can have the leaf spring hanging like that. So what I'm going to be doing is use the U-bolts, two of them here, two of them here, and then two of them there, two of them there. So this way, I got it. So this way I can have this leaf spring installed. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And the U-bolts are going to come from down below. So the knots, the locking knots are going to be on top. That's how it's supposed to be installed. So when I put it on the trailer, I'm going to flip this upside down, and then this is going to be the front of the eye, leaf spring eye, and this is the back of the leaf spring eye. So um, you know, flip it so this way when the axle is getting pressure, it will um, push the leaf spring downwards. um, that's how this thing is supposed to be working. Okay, the first U-bolt over, and I'm just applying grease so that when I tighten it, it will be it will be much easier. And the salt, um, it will be much easier to remove next time. So that's why I'm applying the grease here. Because the grease is supposed to help prevent corrosion. Okay, so push this upwards, and then hopefully lock it in. So now I'll put the knots over, and the washer and the knots over, and lock this down. Loop the U-bolts in, and now I'm just going to try to lock this U-bolts down. Okay. Gonna use this deep socket wrench and then tighten the screws, tighten the knots. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. As you can see here, so that's what I'm doing here. I don't know why the knots are cutting the threads in these screws, but you know, I allow it to be able to turn just slightly, so this way I can adjust when I try to mount this on the trailer hanger. um, but here is what you can see now. I'm going to use the toothbrush to brush away these metal shreds. you know, just to make it a cleaner looking thing. And I'm also gonna apply some more grease because the grease seems to be wiped away by the knot, you know, when I lock it down. The challenge is also you don't want to tighten this too much, because I did in the first time tighten these two bolts too much, and then this metal plate just tilted the inside. You really don't want that. So you really want to tighten these about the same turns, you know. So I think it's easy to mount this thing, but it's really not. So you can see I got more turns in here than here, so I'm gonna have to loosen these and tighten those. Okay, now I'm going to proceed to put these two U-bolts on for the, is it driver's side or passenger side? Now I'm kind of confused. The other tip is you want to try to, I thought I could try to keep the U-bolts as close as possible to this spring center plate that's welded into the axle, but I guess not. As you can see, there's a little bit of space here and here, and same thing on the other side. So you know, just remember to grease these before you install, because if you don't, it's going to be very hard to remove them in the future from the corrosions in the salt water, you know. And these are galvanized, so they're going to be okay with the salt water, but they may not be okay if you don't grease it. I mean, that's what happened to my last set of U-bolts, because it's never greased. Or maybe it was greased, but it's so many years ago that in between I just never bothered to, or I was afraid to, you know, take on this project by myself, you know, change leaf springs. But anyway, so I'm gonna grease it before, I'm gonna use the grease to grease the U-bolts before I install. Okay, there you have it. So I just put the U-bolts through the axle. One U-bolts in the front, one U-bolts in the back. Now I'm just going to use my deep socket wrench to torque it down. I do have a torque wrench, but I think at this point I'm not tightening it. I'm just trying to wind the knots down until it's just barely moved. Like now you can see this is actually a lot of room to move because I didn't lock it down yet. So I'm gonna turn the knots, tighten the knots all the way down, but without really tightening it. So this way I can fit this leaf springs on my trailer hanger, and I'll tighten the leaf springs eyes to the trailer hanger this way, and then I'll tighten it from underneath the trailer, and then I'll be able to proceed to do the castle knots and wheel bearing, all those greasing and stuff, repack, that's what it's called. But this new axle is very expensive. I think it's about $200, just under $200, but the shipping is killing me. Shipping is something like $30-$40, you know. So do your maintenance of this castle nut and the thread, otherwise you're gonna regret it like me. You know, I ended up have to do all this. If I take this to a marine shop or a trader's place to have it done, it's probably going to cost me double of the amounts I say the parts and labor, probably may as well just buy a new trailer, a couple $1,000s, because the parts alone it's like over $500. Yeah, so it's gonna be a couple $1,000s. May as well just buy a new trailer, but I know how to do this, or I learned how to do this from watching YouTube video and posting questions to online forums. So people helped me. That's why I was able to do all this. Not really that smart that I could do everything here, without learning from others, because never seen it before. First time doing this. So it's doable, and good luck with you guys out there. Happy boating and fishing. Thanks for watching, and subscribe and comment.